What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel here. Today I just want to make a video on my newest PC build that I just finished up this week. I've been talking about how I want to do a lot more computer stuff, computer content on the channel, so I figured why not. I just finished this up like 2 days ago. This new build here. A lot of the stuff's from my old case, which was the NZXT H500, which was a really good case, but I've always loved this. This is the Thermaltake P3 core case. It's like the open body chassis case. It's a really sick case once it's built, but building it is not the most user-friendly case. I will definitely say that. It's just because the manual, I think the manual was put together very poorly in my opinion. Like, I built a lot of different cases, and usually each manual, you'll look at the part, like if you're mounting, say you're mounting the motherboard, for instance. I usually know that they're the smallest, usually the smallest screws in the kit, but like if you're doing other stuff, like this is a more in-depth kit. This is not for like a beginner first build. It's a little more in-depth than a regular just case, like a closed case, because it's open chassis. But the manual doesn't say exactly what screw to use in each for mounting each component. It'll just put the component on the case itself, and then just have like a random screw. So like you never know. There's all different size screws in there with different threads. So it just took so much extra time trying to figure out which screw goes in which like hole without destroying the thread inside. But other than that, it's like an awesome looking case. I've always loved this case, and they had a really good deal on it at Micro Center this week, and I just had to pick it up. So this is where we're at. So I'm just gonna do like a parts breakdown, a rough price, and just some up close stuff, and just talk a little bit about the computer here. So I have a list on my phone because I'm not good at remembering stuff, even though I probably know most of it off the top of my head. I just made a list just in case I forget some stuff. But so as far as motherboard goes, I went with the Rogue Strix 450B motherboard. Love it. It's really cool looking. It's got some sleek designs on it and things of that nature. So I really like that motherboard. I went with that one. For the CPU, it's not a crazy CPU. It's a Ryzen 5 1600. That's going to be getting upgraded fairly soon, hopefully. I know Ryzen's announcing their 3000 series processors really soon, so I want to upgrade to the 2700X, but I also kind of want to wait and hold off and see what they announce and see what prices are going to be for the newer ones. So that's why I'm holding off. This processor is still, in my opinion, super good. Like, you can overclock it. You could do, all Ryzen stuff is unlocked. Unlike Intel, you have locked and unlocked. So I feel like I don't want to get into the debate, but I built Intel stuff and I built Ryzen stuff, and they're both great. You got people that will bash both. I've talked about this in my other videos. That'll bash AMD or some. You can't really bash Intel. I mean, it's such a great company. They've been in the game for so long, but the more budget route, and I think their performance is still like so good, would be Ryzen. So that's where I'm at with the CPU. This isn't a crazy one. You could buy for like, I'd say around, I think I just checked and it was like $80 right now. I paid like $150 maybe like a year ago, but they're like $80 now. And if you're looking for something quick to get, not too expensive, highly recommend. I haven't had one problem with the thing at all. So that's for the CPU. RAM, I went with the Corsair Vision 16GB RGB kit. It just looks awesome. All this stuff is linked to the iQ software, besides these fans, which I'm a little upset about because I just put them in last night or 2 nights ago. And I figured, I seen them at Best Buy. I had like some coupons and stuff, so I picked them up. They were like $70 for 3 fans. But you can't use the iQ Link software. It has its own separate controller and hub and stuff like that, which I don't love, but at least all the colors pretty much still match, and you can kind of do all different patterns and stuff like that still. So it's still not totally bad, but I really wish I could have used the iQ Link software. It just makes everything so much easier because you just click one button and it does everything, all the same link and everything like that. So it is water cooled with the Corsair the H100i radiator. I love the water cooled stuff. Everything I've been doing lately has been water cooled, even for like family. I've built some family stuff, friend stuff, and I've just been doing with all water cooled. For like, you can get this kit for like, I think like $110, and I don't know, it just looks so much. It obviously looks a lot cooler, but also the performance is a lot. It's not that it's better, but I mean, for me, I've noticed there's a big difference from my regular like heatsink fan versus this, and I love it. I think it's just, it looks a lot cooler, and it just, I think in my opinion, it does perform really well. It's not to say a regular fan's not going to perform well at all, but for me, I just really been liking the water cooled stuff like a lot lately. I really want to do like the hardline setup on this. Hopefully, that's the next thing I'd probably do to this. I love this case, so I think I'm gonna rock with this case for a little while, and that'll be the next task I tackle. But I got to get all the parts and stuff for that, and that'll be the first one I ever do. So that I'll definitely document, but that's not going to be probably anytime real soon. But I mean, maybe we'll see what happens. So let's talk about graphics card. Is a 1070, the 8GB GDDR5 memory. This is the Armor Edition. I got this for a pretty good deal. I happen to know somebody that owns like a VR store, so they're constantly just pulling graphics cards out and swapping them out with the newer ones, so they had it laying around. Bought it for $230. And I mean, I know you can get them used still from like, Facebook or eBay or stuff like that, or Craigslist, wherever you want to go for your used market parts. But $230 got me this. If you go and look for it without like knowing somebody, you're getting a really sweet deal. You're probably looking at like $270-ish, which still is awesome for this card. This card is so good, so good. It's been nothing but good experience for me. I'm working on overclocking it now. I've got some pretty set numbers, which I'd rather talk about in another video, because I want to make one about overclocking GPUs. So that'll be in another video that we'll get into that stuff. So that's pretty much that stuff. And then I also, for memory, I have the Evo 960 500GB M.2 from Samsung. Then I have a regular solid state drive, a SanDisk, which is like a 250GB drive. And then I also have a 1TB hard drive. So I got plenty of memory on this thing. I definitely recommend, if you can't swing getting an M.2, you don't need to get an M.2, but at least get a regular SSD. It just makes life so much easier. It makes everything boot. Like this computer with the M.2, it's literally from power off to boot, it's like, I'm not even kidding, like probably like 3 or 4 seconds and you're up and ready to do whatever you want. Whereas a hard drive is going to take a little bit longer. It just depends how long you want to wait, but I highly recommend getting some sort of an SSD drive. The prices have come down a lot, and they're just very affordable, and you'd kind of be foolish not to get one and put it in your system along with a regular hard drive. You're always going to need a regular hard drive. So that's that. For the most part, that kind of wraps up the parts. I also have the cable mods, white cables, just for looks. Obviously looks really nice. And that's kind of it. So this build, I didn't price it out completely right now. The prices fluctuate all the time. Parts change, sales, new stuff comes out, they drop a little bit. Like prices are for computer stuff is like, it's hard to make a set like price for this thing. But from the time like I've had some of these parts and other builds that I had laying around, some of the stuff's brand new. If I had to make an estimate, this is probably a $1,500 to $1,700 build, which it's a mid-tier build. This isn't a high-end build. It's a mid-tier build. This thing is still powerful as hell. Like I just never have any issues at all. It's just an amazing. I love this computer. It's been amazing for me. But for $1,500 to $1,700, this is along the lines of something you're going to be able to get. It also depends on. I mean, I have a lot of fancy stuff in here. Like you don't need the LED lights. That'll save you $30. You don't need a water cooler. You don't need. You can get a cheaper water cooler. You don't need an expensive motherboard. Like. So you can cut the cost down and still almost build the same thing for definitely a couple $100 cheaper, maybe around the $1,300 mark or something like that. The power supply is a 500 watt. That's going to be upgraded soon. I just had this for a while, and it's like an eVega, the bronze standard. It works great. Nothing has had an issue as far as power problems or anything like that. So I'm just going to let that stay for now. But once I'm upgrading the processor and stuff, and obviously get into hopefully the water, like the hardline stuff, where I need a pump and other things like that, bigger radiator, more fans, I'll probably upgrade it. I'm gonna have to upgrade it, so that's when that'll get upgraded, and then I'll just use this to keep using it. I still have the NZXT H500 case, which I'm gonna build that one because I come back and forth from my parents' house to my girlfriend's house, so like I don't have my chair or anything, just a regular chair. This is just kind of, my setups are all over the place. I bring it back and forth, and so I'd rather have one computer just stay here and then one wherever else I stay. But this is my main computer. It's going to be for a while now. Might get another graphics card again. Put this one in the other build that I'm going to be doing, but that build I'm going to do an in-depth video on like a tutorial how to build a computer. I tried to do it with this case, but this case was just, to try to make a video on this case, it would just be too difficult because 90% of people aren't going to build like an open case like this where it's like not just really plug and play. This, like, you can mount things kind of all over the place, and it's, you got to assemble this case. It's not just pull it out of the box and just start putting parts in. So it just wasn't the right case for me to start. I started and it just, I didn't like how the video was coming out, so I figured I'd just wait until I do a regular case. So that's when that'll come out. But that's the next thing I would like to do, that I'm going to definitely do, is make a full tutorial for you guys and just make it kind of as simple as possible. I mean, the fact of building a computer scares a lot of people, and people think it's so difficult to do. And I don't believe so. It's not that difficult to do. With a little bit of knowledge and you taking a couple of weeks of research and watching videos and stuff like that, you can totally figure out how to do it. Everyone on YouTube that you see, all the big guys, you know, everyone that builds computers on YouTube, they all did the same thing. They all just research, watched 1,000 YouTube videos on how to do it, and it's the best way, and anyone can figure it out. So I want to make a video of my own on how to do it, try to make it as simple as possible, as easy as possible. So that'll be the next thing that I hope to put out for you guys, and I really appreciate you guys checking in. If you could like and subscribe, I'm going to try to be putting out a lot more content, like computer and gaming wise. And I'm also going to do, like, in my next 2 videos, I want to do a graphics card overclocking, and then I really want to do the tutorial. I just got to get some more parts to put the computer together, and then we'll go from there. But hopefully you guys liked the video. Like I said, if you did, please like, please subscribe, leave some comments, give me some feedback. This is one of like my first videos, so if it's not that great, sorry. Hopefully they get better. But thanks for checking in, guys.